Te omnes. It's good to see you. Since we've started verbs, I always like to start our day with recitation. Okay, now I want to remind you that this grammar book is really important. And starting on page, let's see where it starts. Page 40, there's lots of information on verbs you might want to read. Okay, 40, 41, 42, 43, and then on 44, page 44 in your grammar book, starts the verb conjugations, okay? Last time we learned the first conjugation, present system, which includes the present tense, the imperfect tense, and the future tense. And it's laid up here with its translations, okay? So if you need to look, go ahead and look as we recite, and if you don't, then just say it aloud with me, okay? Laudo, laudas, laudat, laudamus, laudatis, laudant, laudabam, laudabas, laudabat, laudabamus, laudabatis, laudabant, laudabo, laudabis, laudabit, laudabimus, laudabitis, laudabunt. Optime discipuli. Okay, so let's practice some translations before we go on to any new material. Okay, we'll do a few sentences now to help us just remember what we're doing. I would invite you, after you see it written out on the board, pause the video, try to mark it up, look at it for yourself, then start the video again and see how you do compared to what I did up here. Okay, and remember, you can ask me any questions. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with this one. Reges, I'll give that a capital, et duces, Mali, bellum parant. Okay, so a couple of things I look for. Are there any prepositional phrases that I should kind of bracket? Not a one here. Is it a compound sentence? So I might want to drop a slash so I don't go back and forth where I shouldn't. Not in this one. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify my verb. Okay, so I am going to underline parent, and now that we know verbs, we know person, number, tense, I'm going to tell myself the things about this verb. Okay, so I look at parent, NT tells me it's third person plural, and then I just see that A stem vowel, there's no tense sign at all, so I know that's present tense. So when I go to translate it, are preparing, do prepare, or just prepares, okay? So because that's third person plural, I'm going to look for a subject, okay? There might not be one, remember, but I'm going to go look for one. So I look at these endings, ace, e, and that's plural. Right away that takes out bellum because that's singular, can't be my subject. Ace, we know that's third declension, and it can be nominative or accusative, and since it's first, I'm going to make that my subject. I've got a conjunction, so that means I've got another subject. And ace is right. Okay, now I look at my adjective. Now remember, adjectives and nouns agree in gender, number, case. Okay, so I look at that ending on Mali, okay, and I say, well, that could be either genitive singular, because it's a first, second declension adjective, or it could be nominative plural. Well, I have no genitives up here, so I know that Molly is going to agree with my compound subject. So now I'm ready to translate. Remember, subject and its modifiers, verb, direct object, and if it has any modifiers. So let's go, okay? Kings and bad leaders prepare for war. Or, we don't know, maybe that Molly is modifying both things. The Romans did it both ways, okay? So we could also say, bad kings and leaders prepare for war, okay? So either way, that Molly can modify both things or the thing closest to it, duces. Okay, so let me erase this and let's do another one. Okay, I'll make this one a little simple also. We'll go milites fortes laudaus. Okay, so go ahead and stop it and see what you come up with, and then we'll do it together. All right, well, no prepositional phrases, obviously no compound sentence with just 3 words, so I'm heading to the verb first. Underlining the verb, I'm going to parse it, okay? That S right there tells me second, singular, and no tense sign, so I'm going with the present tense. Okay, now this is singular, okay? And this tells me, this is going to be my subject verb. If I have something in the first or second person, okay, 99% of the time, that's my subject, and there's not another subject, okay? 1% of the time, you might have something like, we the Christians praise God, and you'll have then a first person plural or first person anything verb plus another restated subject, but that's really rare, okay? So most of the time when we have a first, second person in our verb, that's our subject and there's no other, okay? So let's see what these 2 words are going to be. Okay, now we know third declension, ace can be subject or direct object. Okay, now remember this verb is singular, and subject-verb agreement says if your verb is singular, your subject has to be singular. If your verb is plural, then your subject has to be plural. So because this is singular, this plural noun adjective thing here cannot be your subject. So I'm going to make this my direct object. My adjective is modifying that direct object. So now let's start with our subject verb and then go to our direct object. Okay, so here we go. You are praising, or you praise, brave soldiers. Okay, hope you got that. Okay, we're going to keep working this. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, we'll try to go to a different tense than the present tense right now. So let me go get one. Okay. Okay, let's do this one. Servi. Okay, servi frumentum in hiberna portabunt. There we go. Okay, so I always look for prepositional phrases first. That way I don't mistake any objects of prepositions for subjects or direct objects. So I see in, I know that's a preposition, okay, and there's only an object. There's no genitives or adjectives with that one, okay? No compound sentence, so the next thing I'm going to do is go to my verb, underline it, okay? And I'm going to look, and I'm going to parse it. So look, NT, we know that's third plural. And now I see I do have a tense sign here. Bunt, okay? Bo bis bit, bimis bitis bunt, that is future. So I know when I get there, I'm going to use a will when I translate it, okay? So let me go find a subject. Okay, NT, I'm looking for a plural subject. Here's my choices. And this is my nominative plural. Often the first word is the subject, but not always. Therefore, I'm going to make this my direct object. And indeed, neuter, second declension, is a direct object ending. So now we can translate. Okay, ready? Start with our subject. The slaves will carry, grain into the winter quarters. Now, I just want to remind you that in, when it takes the accusative case, like hiberna, has motion into, okay? You want to get that feel. Okay, so there you have it. There is your review of how to translate sentences. Now, we need today to talk about how to make questions, okay? And there's going to be 2 different ways we can make questions. So the first way we make questions is with interrogative, adverbs, and pronouns. I think this is the easier way to make questions, okay? So we're going to learn 4 of them in lesson 9. You'll find those 4, okay, on page 114 if you want to turn there. And here they are. Ubi, okay, quis, quid, and cur, okay? These words will stand first in the sentence to introduce the question. Okay, so ubi means where, okay? Quis means who, like who is coming for dinner, okay? Quid, what? What are you going to eat for Thanksgiving this year? And cur means why, okay? Why are we learning Latin? It's a really good question to ask yourself, okay? So let's look at one, okay? We'll start with, let's look at a why one, okay? Cur, can you make sure you can see that? Okay, cur, let's see, cur, okay, omnia loca, okay, and I think this is a new word that means places, okay, occupabat, okay, there we go, okay, so we know this means why, okay, but we still have to figure out the rest of this. So I'm going to go to my verb and I'm going to say, ooh, that's third singular. That BA gives me imperfect, was or were. So he was seizing, okay? Now I have to decide if omnia loca is my subject or my direct object. Because loca is a neuter noun in the plural, it can actually be either one. Remember, neuter nouns, same in the nominative and accusative, okay? But here's the deal, these are plural. These are plural endings. Neuter plural ends in A, and the verb is singular. If your verb is singular, your subject would have to be singular. So these cannot be my subject. So I'm going to make this my direct object. Of course, omnia is a third declension adjective modifying loca. Okay, so now I'm going to start with my interrogative. This one is an interrogative adverb, okay? Why was he seizing all the places? Okay, why was he seizing all the places? That's how we could do that one. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, here we go. Ooh, we'll try to do a hard one. I'm going to erase these so I can put this up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Quis Caesarem post. See if I'm going to be able to keep this here. Cedem principum Galliae, and then my verb laudabit. Okay, let's go for this. Whew. Okay, I see a prepositional phrase. I know it's going to start with post. Now I have to figure out where I'm going to end this. Okay, I've got my object of the preposition. I see that because post takes the accusative case. Okay. Oh, look at this. Third declension is genitive. A, Galliae, that is also genitive. So I want to end my prepositional phrase after all my genitives are done, or after all my adjectives are done if I had any. Okay, got that. Now I'm going to go to laudabit, okay, and I can see T, third singular future. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to look for another subject because it's a third person. But the only word I have left, this is what's so great when you get your prepositional phrase isolated, the only word I have left is Caesarem, and that em I know is always accusative. It's never a case where it's a nominative. So this is not my subject, but my direct object. Therefore, ergo, my subject must be in my verb. So I'm going to start with my, this is an interrogative pronoun this time, quis. Who? Who will praise, direct object, who will praise Caesar after the slaughter? Remember, genitives of the leading men, genitive of Gaul. Okay? So once you figure it all out, then it's so easy to translate it. Okay? Let me just go over the second way that we form questions. Okay, this was a little bit more difficult, but once you get used to using it, it won't be. Okay? So the second way we form questions is with something called, I can't even say the word, let me not even write it on there and just say with N-E, okay? So here's what happens. You're going to take a verb from the end, you're going to put it at the beginning, and you're going to put an N-E on it and just translate a normal statement like a question, okay? So let me show you an example, okay? I'll use laudat ne. Okay, normally if we covered up ne, we would say he is praising. Okay, he is praising maybe God. But the ne, I just kind of erase that N, makes it a question. So instead of he is praising, it will become is he praising God or does he praise God? Okay, so I kind of always tell my students, make a statement first if you're having trouble with making it into a question, and then turn that statement into a question. Okay, so let me throw a different one up here. We'll use laudo. Okay, so let's go. Lauda bimus ne. Okay, now we will praise. Okay, that would be if I took the ne off. We will praise must be lauda bimus. Okay, so instead of we will praise, how do I make that a question? Will we praise? Okay, will we praise? Okay, so you're going to have, at the end, okay, this exercise 132 is going to use that bunches and bunches of times. Exercise 132 has a lot of review in it. Okay, but let's just take a sentence, and here, I'll do number 2. I gotta see if it's bot or bont. It's bontne. Para bontne frumentum post iter longum. Okay, I get a question mark there. That's something that kind of helps us know we've got a question. Okay, so, first I see I've got a prepositional phrase going to end at the end of the adjective, okay? And you'll know, yeah. Anyway, so then I'm going, look, now my verb is first. I can still parse it. I can still say third plural and imperfect was preparing. Okay, since this is plural, this has to be my direct object. Cannot be my subject, okay? So imperfect we know is was or were, so I'll say, were they, third plural, were they preparing grain after the long journey? Were they preparing grain after the long journey? Okay, so those are the 2 ways to form questions with interrogative adverbs and pronouns, and also with the eclectic ne that you will add to the end of the verb, okay? And you'll take that verb and move it to the beginning of the sentence, and then you know you have a question, okay? So enjoy your journey through the end of lesson 9, and when you're ready and done, then we'll start second conjugation, lesson 10. Vale te omnes.